All right. It's the Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 135. The
January 5th, 2023.
Yeah, the vibes are low, really low. In a couple words, in a few words, this team sucks. That's where we're at.
That is exactly where we're at. The offense sucks. They keep talking about how good the defense is.
Can't defend without fouling.
Yeah. Brad switches to a non-switching defense to prevent fouls and has 5 guys foul out. So, it's about in line with
it's always what
you want to happen.
Yep.
So, in a game of terrible players, I guess we'll pick players of the games. I don't know if there's really a reason to, but I guess we will. I went with Jaden Epps, 22 minutes, 5 of 12 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. He was one of the guys that fouled out. But out of everybody, I thought he was the most consistent. He hit some shots when Illinois needed them. He continues to be the only guy that can penetrate to the basket. So I went with Jaden Epps. I think that we might see Jaden Epps start next game against Wisconsin.
Probably.
Think that maybe Sincere's, ran his course. So.
I don't know if he's the only guy that consistently gets to the basket. I feel like the guy that I picked can do it and has done it.
I don't think he went to the basket as much this game.
No, he didn't. But I'm saying, generally speaking, this season he has been that.
Right.
I went with Matthew Meyer, 30 minutes, fouled out, of course. 5 for 11 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3. Hit all 4 free throws. That's good. Rarity in Illini basketball.
Yeah, almost had half the free throws. Good work.
Yep, very nice. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 2 turnovers. He's okay. Good enough.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was okay. I mean, I think I texted and said that Matthew Meyer sucks again, and then he had a little 5-point run by himself, and I said he's back, and then he went terrible shot, turnover, and then a foul. So I don't know. It just seems like this team is completely lost. Just everybody. And Meyer talked after in the post game about the offense and how they're supposed to be passing into sets, and they're going to work on dribbling into sets because they suck at passing, I guess. So Matthew Meyer made a terrible pass, lackadaisical. Then he fouls. This team is unreal. Crypto, what's up? How you doing? He says Hawkins is lost like an Easter egg.
We'll get there.
Anthony King does not agree with you. He says no one goes to the basket besides Epps.
Maybe no one goes, but they're like Shannon and Meyer can get there.
Yeah.
And that's like the biggest problem with this game is like Northwestern is like mostly undersized. Why are you not going to the rim? Why are you not going to the rim every time down the floor?
Well, a big part of that is Coleman Hawkins, our stretch 5, can't get to the basket. He might be the weakest guy I've ever seen.
Bum. He is a garbage bag playing basketball.
Yeah.
He sucks. I'm so tired of seeing things about him like, oh, he's an NBA guy. Yeah. How? In what way? In what way, other than being a below average shooter, below average passer at this point, makes tons of shitty passes, tries to act like he's 10 steps ahead of everybody, then turns it over or gets lucky by throwing it across the floor. How about the dribble drive to the hoop this is in the first half. Dribble drive gets bailed out by a foul, just throws it along the baseline, 1% pass probably.
Yeah. And then the other time he tried posting up, he wasn't even close. And he continues to play a high percentage of minutes. He played 36 minutes this game. 4 of 11. He was 2 of 6 from 3. Still chucking it up from the logo because, Underwood said he needs to shoot 5 to 7 threes a game.
Elite pump fakes, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
Elite. He pump fakes more than anybody in the history of the
He pump fakes with nobody around him. There was somebody, maybe a Illini Fan Nation or whatever, Twitter. He made a great point that all Coleman Hawkins pump fakes do is let the defense get set. And say, because the one time where he did go to the hole, where he did get bailed out, he didn't pump fake. He just went to the basket. Like, all you're doing is letting the defense recover. And then you're so indecisive on what you're going to do with the ball that it completely ruins any offense.
They played Syracuse in November, and that was the one team that fell for every pump fake. And since then, they just keep doing it, especially Hawkins. And Coleman Hawkins is just not even close to what anybody, especially the coach,
And
expects.
I think a lot of people are finally, there's not a lot of Coleman defenders out there anymore.
He
MJ,
sucks.
what's up?
He's a terrible basketball player.
MJ says he's super frustrated, but he's not pissed yet like some fans. But I'm starting to think I should be. If this game didn't get you fired up or sad or something, then I don't know. Zach, what's going on? How you doing? I want to see this team. If we can sit Coleman for a game, probably would be a win. I just like to see him not play 36 minutes.
How about 6 minutes?
When he makes mistake after mistake, let's say he had 10 points. I was talking to a buddy today, and he goes, I bet he had a double-double. No, he had 5 rebounds. Like, he can't even hang on to the ball. The ball comes to him, I think, on his missed free throw, and it just like slips out and squirts away. 1 assist, so you can't say that he's selfless or selfish or whatever the heck they keep saying. And then 3 turnovers. And I feel like he's more of a part of turnovers than what they ever write down or what they mark down for him. So
let's put it this way. An offensive rating on KenPom, you want it to be like above 100. That's probably a good spot to be in. Coleman Hawkins against Northwestern, 76. Coleman Hawkins against Missouri, 38. Coleman Hawkins against Penn State, under 100. He was above 100 against Maryland and Texas and Syracuse. But other than that, it's just been disgusting. I mean, he's not – like, why do they want him to shoot? Like, why is Underwood trying to get him to shoot? Like, I guess
he's really good.
Yeah, he's great. Just
really
flicks it at the rim, and it's very low percentage. So
Brad had a few comments afterwards. He said, quote, we've shot more step back, sidestep fadeaways, a shot that we've never practiced in our facilities, and that's what we shoot. I assume that he was talking mainly on Coleman Hawkins there, because then he started talking about Coleman some more later on, and this is going to get you going. So he says, quote, we are literally screaming at him to shoot the basketball. He shoots 1,000,000 balls and makes unreal percentages. When he takes really good shots and not the step backs then he makes them. I think he was coming into this game 3 of 17 off the bounce. That's a guy that can't get to the lane. 3 of 17 off the bounce. Not saying he can't do that, but let's play to the strengths. We need him to shoot, but he had a dead layup today and he sprays it. I get it. He's unselfish. He is trying to get everybody involved, but we need him. So nothing's going to change.
Nope, never.
He's going to continue to play 35 to 40 minutes a game. And it's not beneficial to this team. The offense can't run through him. There was 5 seconds on the shot clock. I shared the tweet that the guy showed. There's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Coleman Hawkins is standing with the ball probably 5 feet away from the 3-point line, and every other Illinois guy is standing around the 3-point line. Like, what the hell are we doing?
I would like to propose a trade to Japan, the league. I would like to send Coleman Hawkins to Japan for Kofi, please. And we will also add Paxton Warden, and we'll give you Lieb if you want another big man. I think that's a fair deal. But I mean, they're lost. They are not anywhere near where they were in Vegas. I'm not even going to say against Texas, because let's be honest, they shouldn't have beaten Texas. They should have lost
that game. And that's what I don't know if I text you this, but I texted to my buddies and I said, when does Illinois become the point of that is a really good win to, wow, that's a really bad loss for Texas and UCLA? Because we're getting really close to it, I think.
The only team that has had a really good win over Illinois this year is Penn State and maybe Missouri. Probably Missouri.
Yeah.
Those two, because they both destroyed the Illinois.
Yeah. MJ says, despite my excitement of the early wins, I kept my expectations low, given I thought we would struggle with youth. We now have those struggles, but I didn't expect some of the basketball IQ problems. I understand that Illinois has young players.
Their worst players in this stretch have been the older ones.
But yeah, Coleman Hawkins is a
Shannon.
junior. Terrence Shannon Jr. is a senior. Matthew Meyer is a grad player.
I wouldn't lump him in with those two. He's been playing pretty well.
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm talking about
talking about how young this team is when they have three guys that are actually been playing a while. So,
and arguably their best players in some of these terrible games have been Epps and Harris. So
yeah.
I'm not going to blame. And RJ Melendez sucks.
And Clark.
I'm so out on RJ right now. We'll get to him. But I'm way out on him right now.
The youth isn't the problem largely. Yeah.
The problem is the team sucks and they think there's something that they're not, and the coach has completely lost the team. Enjoy the NIL money, boys. I tweeted it last night. Enjoy it. Jesus, you have not earned anything. You haven't earned a thing. You're 9. What's the record?
9-5.
9-5. You're
0-3 in the conference.
0-3 in the Big Ten with Iowa and Minnesota. Hope you feel good, boys. Keep selling those hoodies.
Yeah, and their schedule isn't going to get any. I mean, Wisconsin, Michigan State.
Literally every game is like playing the number one team in the country because this team is garbage.
It's not like 3-0 Michigan with their cupcake schedule.
I am so excited to win the NIT. We are going to dust everybody in the NIT.
And that's the problem. Like MJ said, he expected some highs and lows, but are we getting to the low of Illinois not even going to be a tournament team? Because
they're going to come out and beat the hell out of Wisconsin. And
I hope they do. I hope. I don't want to say that I hope somebody's hurt, but I hope Wall doesn't play in that game.
I don't think he's gonna. The first thing I read when I looked it up was no timelines. There's no way he's playing.
Right, but it sounded like just a sprained ankle. So,
but he's not gonna
tape that baby. I mean, especially against Illinois, right?
They're not gonna against a garbage team.
Risk it against Illinois, yeah. Let's get to some other guys. Let's rag on some other guys. Terrence Shannon Jr. 33 minutes, 2 of 8 from the field. He did go 50% from 3, 2 of 4, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, which is nice to see. He was one of those guys that was actually getting, he gets to the lane, but teams have realized that Terrence Shannon Jr. can't go to his right.
Well, you just have to punch him in the face, in the chest, and not get a foul call. And
that's true. That's true. Terrence Shannon also fouled out of this game. So you had Meyer, Epps, and Shannon were the 3 that fouled out.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much your 3 offensive guys. So
Sincere had 4 fouls in 9 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he had 2 in 24 seconds. So that doesn't
I
really
would
help.
say the technical foul by Sincere probably ruined the game for Illinois.
Yeah.
They were buzzing beginning of the second half.
Yeah. Terrence is supposed to be the guy that can get to the line. And in this game, of course, he got to the line once. I think Northwestern shot 26 free throws before Illinois took their first. So
sick.
That's pretty.
Congrats
tough.
to that loser, that absolute bum and loser, Boo Booey. You made 2 shots and 15 points.
Yeah.
You fraud. You suck. Nothing has changed. You're still a bum. You're a effing bum. I want to drop the F-bomb so bad. Boo Booey sucks. He is a garbage shitbag basketball player. Okay. He sucks. Audige is the only good player on that team. Boo Booey sucks. Yeah. 11 free throws that he made. He sucks.
Yeah. Definitely couldn't shoot. I mean, that was my player to watch. And I said if he doesn't shoot well, Illinois will win this game. And he didn't shoot well. And it didn't matter because Illinois let Northwestern go to the line 40 times. So
I mean,
and you can say, the refs were this and that, but
it sucked, but I'm not blaming the refs.
Yeah.
Illinois game after game has shown zero discipline.
Yeah.
Zero discipline.
And it is funny though, because you watch like the Purdue game, Purdue Rutgers, and just how much they just pounded and beat on each other. And then this game gets called like it's ballet class. So
a total of 46 fouls in this game, 29 of them on Illinois. Free throws, 50 free throws between the two teams. Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, how do you Underwood's quote here about the free throws just makes no sense to me, because what does it matter if you make 6 out of 10 free throws when the other team
right
made 32 free throws?
I think he was saying that you can't go to the line only 10 times. But yeah, he said you can't go to the line 10 times, make 6 of them on the road and win.
How about you just learn how to play normal basketball?
But when he opened, he said, we held them to, 32% shooting, and we made 6 more baskets than them. And usually that's a recipe for winning. So, he also thought that they only shot 28% from 30 when it was 39%. So.
And they made them in bunches late that pretty much put the game away.
That's what.
And also, let's just get this out of the way right now. This team is full of losers. Okay, Matthew Meyer is probably the only guy that I would categorize as a winner. I think Shannon, you could probably do that too. Coleman Hawkins is a loser. Okay, last year's team, despite some of the shortcomings, the undersized guards, they were actually tough. This team's soft as hell. They had winners. They had an All-American. This team is not even close to last year's team. Last year's team is so much tougher.
Yeah, they have no fire in them. It seems like they're not. You talk. I hate the NIL money stuff, like whatever. But you have a lot of guys.
It's an easy way to attack them.
You have a lot of guys that aren't playing for the name on their chest. They're playing for the name.
That's 100% correct. So. And you can tell when you look at some of the stuff on the bench and how they're reacting to losing to these absolute losers. Oh, no, there goes our 8-game winning streak against Chicago, quote, big quotes, because who gives a flying F about this program except a bunch of fucking dweebs that go there? I mean, losers.
MJ said, remember when people said we'd be better without Kofi?
I think that was more in the tournament, and they're not even going to get to the tournament, so we're not even going to know.
Yeah, I got guys that were like that. So I got friends that were so much happier, but now they also are saying that Coleman Hawkins needs to sit on the bench. So
Coleman Hawkins is just, I mean, he should have transferred. I'm sorry, but he should have. And I try my best to not tweet some stuff about him, but it's just so hard not to.
I tweeted about him a little bit last night. I don't usually tweet during games.
I also had to delete a couple of tweets.
Fed up. Good.
Good. There was one tweet where that Scott guy came in and said genius analysis or something, and I said F you, Scott. And then he said, once again, great job. And I was like, you're a disgrace to the name Scott Stevens, because Scott Stevens is an elite defenseman, the New Jersey Devils. Anyway.
MJ says he thinks Coleman's minutes are the problem, that he needs to play more than 36.
Yeah, he should be playing 40.
I kid.
40 every night.
Brad said, somebody asked him how you get Terrence Shannon going again. And he said, quote, making a layup for one. Everyone is scouting better. It is no secret. Nobody is letting him go to his left. He better get used to that. He's not getting fouled because nobody is letting him go to his left.
How about you make it easier for him by maybe setting a screen?
Setting a screen. Coleman Hawkins literally cannot set a screen. He's literally scared to touch somebody.
He's the king of the phantom screen.
It is unreal how phantom they are. Coleman. I mean, they are just.
Last year we had King Kofi for being a good All-American player. This year we have King Coleman for the fake screens. Very nice.
Yeah. MJ said that Coleman needs to rest and play 28 to 30 minutes with more.
I would argue he should play 3 to 8 minutes. That's my argument.
Yeah, I agree that maybe he's wore out. I don't know, but the fact that you are not setting screens for your team is the biggest thing to starting an offense. You look at Northwestern and how they ran offense. They were setting on-ball screens. They were setting off-ball screens. Illinois doesn't set a screen.
Illinois
Danger sets some sometimes. Then he forgets that you should set screens, but y'all underestimated.
No, we didn't. I think we underestimated how much Illinois sucks. Northwestern is not a good basketball team. If you think Northwestern is a threat to anybody, then you're blind. You think that's a good basketball team? They have a coach. The only reason that they're even running any sort of offense is because their coach knows he's going to get fired if they're not good.
Boo was enough.
He had 2 shots that he made. He was 2 for 14 from the fucking field. Imagine having 15 points with 2 field goals and thinking that you're remotely a good player. Yeah,
you call it a bad loss. Yeah, but is it a good win for Northwestern? where Illinois is at right now?
It
I don't
won't be in
think
a
so.
month when Illinois is like 9-12 because
Yeah.
they're not winning ever again, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway, but maybe they need Underwood to have like a couple more bad seasons and have his back against the wall for them to maybe start running real offense and trying to make winning plays. I mean, how are we in January and the entire team is still just playing for themselves and not for each other? Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's the absolute biggest indictment on this team
Yeah.
is that there is no resemblance of a team at all. We haven't seen that at all for most of the season. You could argue the Texas game. I think that's the only game where we could see that because Syracuse sucks. That was a free win. UCLA was Terrence Shannon just completely taking over. And Virginia, I guess they, Jaden Epps had some troubles there late, but they played as a team for a little bit. But they'd given up on that concept. And there's still no leadership. Like Brad goes, it's a whole big controversy about Brad's press conference after Penn State. Have we seen any real leadership changes since then, except the games where they played Bethune-Cookman?
Crypto says Underwood should scream at them more clearly. That's working.
I mean, he's going to give himself a heart attack or a stroke. I mean, he needs to maybe, relax.
Lunkers is talking about Bowie having 15 points. Yeah, he went to the free throw
Two
line.
Field goals. He had 2 field goals.
He tripped over his foot and went to the line.
I mean, how stupid are you? Get the hell out of our chat if you're going to continue to not listen and be this stupid. What is your IQ 3? I don't attack people for IQ usually, but you seem stupid. You seem really dumb because I just said he had 2 field goals. 2.
Okay.
Do you want a pad stat against Brown or Cornell?
Breathe.
Jesus. All you nerds from Northwestern and Lunkers, I think, is an Illini fan. I think. I don't know. I feel like we've seen him here before. If he's not, then, whatever. But he is an Illini fan. Okay. But, what are you doing? 15. Did you watch the game? He had 2 field goals. Check the game notes, bud. Anyway.
MJ thinks it's the personalities of Meyer Shannon Hawkins. I cannot disagree with that. St. Dominic's Rosaries here. What's up? Can we please stop saying Brad is a good coach? Ethan's going to lose a guy. We're just going to have an hour rant of Ethan. I got a list of coaches that would do better than Brad with the same team. Brad is the common denominator. No, I think that this is fully on the players right now.
He's tried to change things. Like everybody said he couldn't make game-to-game adjustments. He's done that here. He's done that. They weren't switching. They changed the starting lineup. The players are just what? I don't think these guys know that in order to win in the Big Ten, number 1, you have to be tough. Number 2, you have to, maybe play as a team. Number 3, you have to know your role. I don't think how many players in this team know their role? The freshmen seem to pretty much.
That's the thing is there is no role. I guess I don't know.
That's probably true, but I also think Brad's probably sitting there thinking, how am I supposed to make this we pretty much went into the season saying that this is a versatile, switchable, role-less team. So that's the results here, right? It turns out they're not as talented or as good as Baylor from 2 years ago.
Yeah. Dane Danger, 24 minutes, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 for 2 from the line. You're going to take it every time. His first one, awful. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 turnovers. Did Danger play the last 15 minutes of this game?
Didn't see him there. I was not really paying attention. I was just pissed off.
Yeah, I know. It was hard to see with all the blood rushing to my eyeballs. But, so I don't know. He's really good when he's in. I mean, he makes some turnovers, but so does everybody else. Illinois, 15 turnovers. Northwestern gets 11 steals in this game. So, I mean, it's the things Underwood. I have the quote later. I think that I don't know where it's at, so I'll find it later. But he literally said, "This is what we were going to do: get the ball to Dane Danger," and then he doesn't even play him in the second half. So that might be on. That might be on Brad. So
pretty classic Illinois to be like, let's get the ball to the big man, and then they don't.
Is he perfect with X's and O's? No, but that's not the issue this year. No, that's the thing. Is we'll get into the quotes later.
Can I interest Texas and Brad Underwood?
Are you gonna take? Never mind.
Sincere Harris, welcome. Yeah. Anyway,
Sincere Harris started again. 9 minutes. He was 0 for 1. His only shot was a 3. He had an assist, 4 fouls. Like we said, 2 in the first 26 seconds. Illinois looked like they were starting to get some momentum, going on a run. They were up 37-33. And then Sincere decides to mouth off to Boo Booey going into the huddle. We come back to Boo Booey shooting free throws. That is the one free throw he missed was on the technical.
Boy, he really Boo Booey was awesome last night. That was you talk about all Big Ten guards. That guy, woo, man, he's good.
He's a big Curbelo.
Yeah,
Don't insult
that's
Curbelo.
Complete insult to Curbelo.
That's why I was telling my buddy. I said he's Curbelo. I said he's the 6'10" Curbelo. I said the exact same thing as Lunkers, and my buddy said Curbelo's better than him.
Yeah,
Curbelo can at least penetrate the lane and make things happen.
As a
Coleman Hawkins
guard.
can't. Coleman Hawkins can't. So yeah, Sincere. You love the energy and stuff. I don't know what he said. But the way this game was called, you got to think that they were going to. Apparently, Robbie Hummel said they couldn't repeat it, so apparently it wasn't great. But Underwood talked about this, and he said, it's about not losing our minds and the emotion of the game, getting a technical foul when you have momentum and understanding momentum. Those things are killing us. And yeah, that's freshman. I mean,
sick.
Yeah, it sucks. RJ Melendez, 24 minutes, 1 for 3, 0 for 2 from 3.
There's some good comments here. 2
points. I'm trying to get through this a little bit.
Good one.
So, yeah, need Bosman donk back.
He'll fire up, yeah. Here's an interesting one. I mean, I think St. Dominic's got to take the Brad Hader goggles off because clearly he just can't stand Brad. Like, if you're putting this on him, it's ridiculous. Like, oh, here comes he can't win without an All-American. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Who helped develop those players? Who got those players in from day one? This is just a completely different situation.
I think that you can, and that's why I said we'll talk about this later because Brad clearly talks about this in the post game. I think that you can put a team together and you can think that this is what the guys can do, and then the guys go out and they can't do it, so you change it, and then you run set plays. And the guys can't get into their sets because they're too busy dribbling out and staying out 5 wide. Brad cannot go out there and set a screen or get them into sets. And he talks about this, and we'll get to it, boys. Let's get through the last 3 guys.
Toss this one in there real quick. This changes absolutely nothing about what I think about Brad as a developer, because this program can still develop players, especially freshmen, at a very high level. They've done it the last 4 or 5 years, and most of the freshmen this year have developed and have been good. Epson Harris, Rogers is, kind of what we expected. Sky Clark, just a weird situation there. I mean, there's no chance he is on this team in 2 months, but whatever. I don't know. It's just, it sucks,
Yeah. Well,
St. Dominic's a Brad Hader.
Let's calm down on Sky leaving, okay?
It doesn't feel good right now.
Freaking trolls these days, I tell you. Lunkers misses Ace Wolf, so I don't know if you've seen his numbers, but they suck, kind of like Boo Booey's.
He's been getting it going a little bit, though.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
Melendez, he just seems obsolete right now. Offensively, he can't make threes, can't get to the basket. There was one play where I think I texted you and I said he literally guarded 3 guys on one play because Illinois I don't know what they were doing. And I think that was on Audisia's 3 or who's the other guy?
Barry
Barnheiser.
Barnheiser, yeah, that guy's a loser.
Yeah. So, and I think that was that little 3-0 run or 3 threes in a row. 9-0 run ballooned into like 22-2 run. Sky Clark, 20 minutes, 1 of 6, 0 for 3 from 3. He's completely lost his shot. 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. He seems slow. I hope that he can change it. I don't know what to do.
There's also a moment where RJ, like Illinois was down like 8. I was like, okay, get a 3, gets back in the game. I don't know what the score was, but RJ just a wide open 3 in the corner.
He can't make anything right now. Yeah, he makes them all in practice though. So
did Brad break RJ?
He's at a high percentage. I think so. I would go with that.
I mean,
fair. Underwood said that Sky was fine during practice, so
that's great.
The injury isn't bad. And then last guy, Ty Rogers. Before we start getting crazy, 2 minutes.
0 thoughts on Ty Rogers.
2 minutes, 1 rebound. Brad forgot he was on the team, I guess. MJ says, I'm starting to think that the problem is we don't have an alpha. Meyer, Shannon are great second options player. Hawkins is a good third option. We have awesome role pieces, but not an alpha. That's very true. But
you can win a national championship without an alpha.
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
who is the alpha on Baylor?
That's the thing is like, shouldn't that make this team more of a team when you don't have an alpha, when you don't have an IO?
I would argue that they have guys
just
trying to be an alpha
all the time. Yeah, I think they're having an alpha fight.
I think they're trying. There's 3 or 4 guys trying to do it. I would say Shannon, Meyer, maybe Danger trying to do it.
Getting Goody back will help.
No,
I hope so.
I'm out on that. It doesn't matter.
You're already out. I've swayed you into that, haven't I?
It's not a Goody thing either. I think he's a good player. It's just team sucks. It's they're dead.
TSJ is supposed to be an alpha. I don't think TSJ has the skill set to be an alpha, but I just like when you watch him dribble, he's not dominant dribbling.
Well, you don't have to be a dominant dribbler to be a good player, but
it
would help if he weren't the most inconsistent 3-point shooter in the history of basketball.
St. Dominic says, I don't hate Brad. I just don't think he's a good coach. Do we need a decade for Brad to prove to us that he can't get out of the second round of the NCAA?
All right.
Please, Texas, save us, Chris Miller.
Who the fuck is Chris Miller? Okay, number one.
You went from I'm not going to cuss to literally like 19,000.
I mean,
this is not a watch party.
Nobody's listening to this. Okay, number one.
Yeah, I don't know who's supposed to be the alpha.
What the hell is the standard?
Maybe TSJ could be, but I don't think that I don't think he has a skill set to be, personally.
What is the standard for a head coach for Illinois? Because if
that's true. Who are you going to get?
Brad has been getting to the tournament every year. Didn't have that with Gross. And I don't know. I think maybe some of the fans are getting a big head. I don't like what do you think? Illinois is a blue blood? They're not. So, right. And Chris Miller is not a real person, so we'll just avoid that. And by Texas saving us, do you mean them taking Underwood? Because I'm totally down to
You think Underwood go to Texas?
I don't think Texas would want him at this point.
That's true. That's true.
What can you do, really? So yeah. It's you get it.
Sean Miller.
I'm down for that. I am so down.
I know you are.
He would take that job too.
Yeah. All right. Other notes and quotes. Here we go. Let's get into Brad's post game. He talks about this stuff a little bit. Like I've been saying, first things first, this is the largest loss to Northwestern by Illinois since 1957. So that's good. Illinois was 0-8 going into this game over the last 8. We talked about it a little bit. Northwestern went on a 22-2 run towards the end of the game. Brad was asked, how do you stop that? And he said, quote, turnovers, mostly unforced. You got to stem those tides with free throws, which they didn't do. And you got to stem those tides with being able to execute a play to get a basket. And right now we're over. So,
you know what this team lacks?
I mean, that sounds like a good coach to me. You can't make the guys do that, though.
This team lacks poise.
Yeah, they do. They get in a game and it's like they shit themselves.
As Kramer once said, poise counts just as important as the others.
Okay. You're getting a little calmed down here, all right?
Just waiting.
Okay. We talked about the 15 turnovers, 11 steals. Illinois forced 8 turnovers and only 2 steals. I think they were averaging like 6 a game or something. So, not very good. That tells me that Illinois wasn't great defensively, but Brad kept talking about how good they are defensively.
They're pretty good defensively when they don't foul, but they foul every time, so you can't really tell.
Audish, 21 points. He was your guy to watch just because you picked him first and I couldn't pick him. Bowie, we talked about him, 15 points.
Man, he was elite.
Shooting.
He was elite.
And then Barry hit some killer threes, I thought, when they needed them, and he finished with 13 points. So Illinois was 8 for 28 from 3, Northwestern 7 of 18. Underwood said that, quote, got some good looks in the first half, wide open threes, missed them. We are making 9 a game. We are a good shooting team. I still believe that.
Yeah, tremendous shooting team. So good that you're 215th in 3-point percentage, Brad. Awesome.
They're not.
Keep firing them up. Keep
not a
shooting
good
the threes,
three-point
boys.
team,
Keep
but
letting
hey.
it go. I mean, hey, you're 14th in the country in 2-point percentage, but make sure you keep shooting the threes. That'll really.
I mean,
that'll show.
Illinois was shooting 50% at half, and they were like 1 of 14 from 3 or something. Like, what are we doing? He said when he first walked out, he said, quote, "Our half-court defense is really, really good. I love what we are doing defensively when we don't foul." Well, that wasn't this game at all. We walked out of the locker room down 26-0. We talk about not fouling in transition, trying to block shots at the square, and never fouling. 4 or 5 of them they had in transition. We go under a screen on Chase Aldige, and I don't know why I put an L in there, like it was Aldige, but Chase Aldige, and he hits 3 threes, 35 points right there, and we haven't moved very far. So
Sweet.
They shoot lights out in practice. They do it. They do great against their scout team, is what he always says. So Brad also said, quote, "Lack of inability to execute in the moment is beyond me." I think this is kind of what you were leaning towards. It doesn't matter if we run stuff 100 times. We get into the flow of the game, and he made some noise like, ugh. You don't shoot step back fadeaways. You have to be tough enough to get to the frickin' drive the ball to the mouth of the rim and pass it, score it, or get fouled. And we did that early, and now all of a sudden we aren't doing that.
Sweet.
Fair. He also said, need better toughness on the offensive end. We can run everything we want in practice and execute it. Then all of a sudden we get in a game, and it's literally Katie bar the door. Never heard that
How
phrase before.
old are you, Brad?
I have no idea. He says, quote, "If I could stop the play after every field goal and diagram what I want to run, we are pretty good." He did say that like when they came out of halftime, they ran good plays, they ran good sets. When they come out of a timeout, they'd actually run the play. So I don't have any disagreement that this is on the team. This is not on Brad Underwood. So Lunker says, "I didn't know what to expect from this team, but I didn't expect us to be this bad so early." Brad talked about, up and down roller coaster. I don't know if we're going to get to the middle of the earth if we keep going down this roller coaster. So right in the core and get burned up. So let's see. What else we got from Brad? He said, quote, "Too many guys handling the ball. All we've talked about." Here's my Dane Danger thing. All we've talked about in this game was getting the ball to our point guards, running the floor, and having Dane post up early, and not one time did that happen. So then he yells at them. Then he yells at them, and they just don't respond. So he said, quote, "Lack of discipline, that's on me. I don't have these guys doing anything that resembles basketball on the offensive end. Nothing." So he does take blame for them not doing it, but he can't make them do it. Jeff Berzelli on Twitter, he tweeted out, "Since beating Texas at MSG on December 6th, Illinois is number 192 in the Bartovics efficiency rating." I don't know who that guy is. He sounds Russian. During that game, they've lost to Penn State by 15, to Missouri by 22, and tonight to Northwestern by 13. Only win in that time is Alabama A&M and Bethune-Cookman.
Hey, they are plus 54 against those two teams in their wins, though. That's pretty good.
And they're what, minus 50 in those 3 losses?
Let's do some quick math here. 28-50. Yep, very nice.
Thank you. Got a few more from Brad. I thought Brad's postgame was really good last night. So
I thought it sucked.
I quoted a lot of it. He said, "It doesn't get any easier. We got the best team, arguably, I can't speak, best team. I think they are a top team in the league right now coming in Saturday."
Coach speak. This Wisconsin team ain't shit, Brad. Figure it out.
Yeah. Well, Terrence Shannon said, "We gonna knock them off." So.
Oh yeah.
Way to say that. He didn't say it like that.
Jesus.
I told the guys I started 0-6 at Oklahoma State in league play in the Big 12 and rallied. It has become about us. It's one. I don't know what I wrote here. It's one of the issues that happens with new guys and young guys. It's always about them. It's individual. It's me. I'm not playing enough. I'm not shooting enough. It's got to become about us. When it's us, we will win. We have proven we can beat some of the best teams in the country.
They did go 9-9 at Oklahoma State in the Big 12 that year.
Yeah.
Got up to 9-7. So
yeah, they had that really good point guard. Who was that kid?
Juwan Evans, of course. Yes.
Thank you.
He was very quality basketball player. So yeah, they started 0-6, and then at one point they were 9-7. So
St. Dominic says he just wants a good X's and O's coach that can develop players and recruit. Is that too much to ask for? Brad is a slightly better.
Oh my God,
John Gross.
What are you doing? He's 100 times better at recruiting, 100 times better at developing, 100 times better at representing the program, not some loser out in front who his only success was in the effing MAC. What are you doing? I think he's just trying to get me to yell.
Old Chucky Hepburn and the Stinky Badgers. Even though I'm a Packers fan, so's Ethan. So you guys yelling at you. Ethan's literally yelling at you. You guys got so much in common. Funny how that works. Brad also said, I got two more here, so bear with me. It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. That is coaches speak for you.
This team is not.
You got to get back up, and you got to fight, and you got to compete, and you got to want to do something that's bigger than yourself, and you got to want success. And we are really young. Keeps loving to say how young they are, and that is showing right now. And the dumb fouls, getting lost and not being able to execute when it gets hard. That's grit and toughness. You have to play at this level. It's not an AAU game, which I think a lot of Illinois guys think it is. It's not an AAU game where it's free and easy and nobody runs crap and you just get to hoop. It doesn't work like that.
Here's the problem.
Crypto, thanks for stopping by.
You can say how often is he going to say this team is young when some of your best players have been the young players
forever,
and some of your young players have done the best job out of anything. Yeah. So like, why are we harping on the young thing as an excuse?
I agree.
Your old players are the ones who suck, Brad.
Because Sincere got teed up, but he talks about how Sincere is fiery and nonstop and everything else. And Jaden Epps has probably been, maybe behind Matthew Meyer, the most consistent guy offensively.
Yep.
So, last one I got here, Brad said, quote, you got to fight. You got to find that us togetherness. It's not about me. And that's why young people and new people, it is always hard because it's always about me until it's about us. I love the character of our team. I love our guys. They fight, they work hard, and now we just have to find a collective way to do it together.
These guys wouldn't know what togetherness is if it smacked them in the mouth. Okay.
Yeah.
They have,
and that's why, and like everybody wants to say that this team doesn't like each other. Like Matthew Meyer made it a point to say last night in his post game that they all love each other. They all hang out together all the time.
They don't like Coleman Hawkins, from what I heard.
Yeah. So I don't think that I don't think it's as big as the 247 guys want to run this story. And I'm going to say this right now. Those guys running stories like that does not help team chemistry. So,
well, it's not their job to help team chemistry,
They're Illinois beat writers. So you want to bring the team down? Yeah, their job is to get clicks. I get it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Jay, what's going on? This offense is inept. No cutting, moving, or driving to the basket. It's non-existent. No wonder why you never go to the free throw line. This team could be 2 fluke wins away from me. I was just thinking about that. If they lost to UCLA and Texas, they would literally be 500 right now.
They should.
I was thinking about that last night, actually.
Teach them a lesson.
Steve, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. If Coleman ever decides he wants to score 30 a game in attitude, this team will take off. I don't think Coleman can score 30 points in a game.
Unless it's against the School of the Blind.
Why is Wisconsin constantly at the top of the Big Ten every year? Every year they're at the top. They don't get 4 and 5 stars, but they have a system. I would take Greg Gard and Matt Painter over.
I would take Painter over Brad for sure. I don't know if I would take
either
Gard.
of them.
Gard.
But you're not. The thing is, you're not going to get them. So
yeah, Greg Gard looks weird. I'm out on that.
Brad's going to have fun filling out the women's bracket this year. Yeah, Illinois women's. If you want to go watch some good basketball,
we'll get there.
Go watch some women. All right, that's the game. That's everything that happened. Illinois sucks, and now we got to play number 14 Wisconsin.
Number 14 with a massive asterisk because this team ain't they're not good. Illinois 9-5. 0-3 in the Big Ten. Wisconsin 11-2, 3-0 in the Big Ten. 12:30 ESPN2 Saturday. ESPN's probably wish we didn't take this game because that Illinois team sucks.
Watch party.
I think probably. I mean, the game's gonna be meaningless in like 2 weeks from now. They're gonna be 9-12 and dead in the water.
Yeah,
so
nobody's gonna be watching then except to laugh at you. So.
Yep, that's right. A must-win game in front of a home crowd is how I would define this. They need to win this game. The Badgers have won 6 straight since choking their Big Ten ACC game against Wake Forest. They are 3-0 in the Big Ten, like I said. They won at home against Maryland by 5. They won at home against Minnesota by 3. Beat Iowa on the road, almost choked that game. They won that by 3 in overtime. But I definitely think that they are overranked in the AP poll. Like, this is not the 14th best team in the country. Their metrics are super underwhelming for a team with that ranking.
Yeah, no kidding. I was looking at that when you posted them. Jay says, I really don't see how this team changes way too many issues.
Yeah, I think we're almost past. Like, if they do the same stuff Saturday, it's pretty much okay.
Yeah.
Roll the ball out there and start messing around, see if you can get some lucky wins at that point.
Yeah, I think that changes have been implemented. The guys just suck at execution.
Does Brad want to mention about how when he started 0-6 at Oklahoma State, they had the number 1 offense in the country? It wasn't number 1 at the time, but it was still good. And also had a player who was, within the realm of being a National Player of the Year candidate, who was all Big 12 and,
I think after 3 games, people were thinking Terrence Shannon Jr. had a chance at that. I think he was like 7th after 3 games.
So, I mean, Juwan Evans averaged 19, 6, and 4.
Oh, he was good.
And shot 44% from the field, 40% or 38% from 3.
That's impressive. Really, you remember, what were you, like 9?
This was like 5 years ago, but Jesus. It's just so stupid how much this team sucks. Projected lineup for Wisconsin: Chucky Hepburn, 28-55 from 3 on the year, 51%. They also have Max Klesmet, 6'3" guard, 65 shot attempts this season. Okay. Transfer from Wofford. Jordan Davis, he's Chris Murray adjacent. Brother of Johnny Davis, the legendary player.
Yeah.
He's 18 of 33 inside the 3-point line this year. So 54% there. So just don't let him get into the lane, I guess, whatever. Carter Gilmore, 6'7" forward. I expect he'll be starting over Wall if Wall is injured and out, which I would assume if he's playing, then he's not going to be 100%. And they have Brandon Lee, better version of Brandon Lee, Stephen Crowell, center, 7-footer, 5 for 8 from 3 in the last 3 games. So
one thing I forgot: can Dane Danger step up and challenge a shot from a guard, please?
No.
Just once. Maybe that's why he sat the bench.
How about he just sucks in general? Would be my thoughts. Ken Palm, like I said, their numbers are not good. Adjusted offense, Illinois 61st, which is just horrible. Wisconsin's 94. So Illinois 33 spots better than them in adjusted offensive efficiency on Ken Palm. Like,
wow, how bad is Wisconsin's offense?
Yeah.
How's Illinois still 61? That's what I want to know.
They've dropped. They were like, after they beat Texas, they were like 12th on Ken Palm overall. They're 40th now. Adjusted defensive efficiency, Illinois 31st, Wisconsin 21st, whatever. And then tempo is a contrast of styles again. Wisconsin slows it down, half-court offense 333rd, Illinois 65th. whatever. I mean, I've given up.
Lunker says Brad Underwood showed me he can be really good with super good players. Jay says not having a point guard is also a huge negative for the squad. They start the offense like 30 feet from the bucket. How do you actually run an offense that far out? That's Brad Underwood keeps talking about how you don't need a point guard. And then, in the post game, he says that we were supposed to get it to our point guards and then run this offense.
Their point guards aren't passers. That's the problem. Like Epps is not a great passer. He's more of a scorer. I don't even know what Sky is at this point. Sincere is like just a defensive player who can maybe make a couple shots here and there.
Yeah.
Their best passer is probably Terrence Shannon, probably their best passer. I mean, I'm sure as hell not saying Coleman's their best passer because that guy sucks. But I don't know.
Terrence had some good ones last night.
I mean, it's an embarrassment. Yep. And this whole Brad thing that he can't win without good players.
Apparently the space bar does that. Okay.
Good Very nice. Very
we'll
nice.
Just same guy.
Yep. Players to watch. I mean, who cares about this game at this point? I'm dead.
Oh, players to watch. Sorry. Let me get the banner up. I picked Jaden Epps. Like I said, I think he's going to get the start. I think the offense needs to run through him and Danger more. Get cutters. Do something different. I don't know. Set screens, please. And then I picked Steven Crowell just because, another big guy, 7 foot, Illinois. If Danger's in, does he close out on him?
Big guy who can shoot threes. Yeah.
So that's my worry with him. So that's who I went with.
Do they want Brad to win with bad players? I mean, do you not want good players? I mean, they have good players.
We know what you meant.
But I don't understand the whole argument. I want Brad to win with bad players so he can prove to me that he's a good coach.
We were supposed to have good players. These guys were supposed to be good. That's the thing. These guys are good individually, but they're not good as a team. So
they don't wear,
and I don't know how
they don't wear the orange and blue with pride. That's the complete. Right. That's the huge difference between the football team and the basketball team this year. I would say.
Yep.
And I think some of that is coaching. I do think that because you look at some of the assistants on the football team.
The only guy from Illinois they have is Terrence Shannon Jr. Paxton Buckley or whatever his name is.
Where's Kofi from? He carried the orange and blue. He was a team guy.
I know. He was also a 3-year guy.
Frazier's from Florida. He's DeMonte was the exception there as an Illinois guy that Io as well, obviously.
I mean, Bielema has made it a point to recruit Illinois guys.
But it's harder to do in basketball.
Holy smokes, dog.
Because all these basketball guys from Illinois want to go to these loser schools.
Can Coleman transfer mid?
Please, God, I wish.
I mean, people are talking about how this team's going to lose 4 to 5 guys.
They're going to lose everybody.
But I guess my question is, who are they going to lose? I mean, Terrence is done.
Sky.
Myers done.
Sky's gone.
Epps and Sincere, I don't think are going anywhere.
No, Rogers is gone. See ya.
I don't know about
RJ's gone. Lieb is gone. That'll be a big loss.
I think RJ is probably the only one I can think of that. But Coleman, Coleman
is NBA bound.
NBA.
Woo!
Yeah. We're going to lose Coleman regardless. So
can he enter the draft now?
Don't worry about that.
My players to watch are Terrence Shannon Jr. because he's going for 40. He's having a big one here, folks. 40 points, 8 threes.
How many air balls?
2 air balls, 8 for 10 from 3 with 2 air balls.
Okay.
I'll go Chucky Hepburn because Wisconsin's going to need him to have a big game to win, I would say.
Yeah. Obviously, if Tyler Wall was playing in this game, he would be the player to watch for me. But sounds like he's not. We'll see what happens. Goody, Epps, Harrison, Rogers will stay.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
And then who cares about the rest, right?
They're going to have a lot of holes to fill. Well,
Epps and Harris are going to have to learn how to play the point guard. Well, I guess they got Dre.
DJL is a stud.
DJL, yeah.
DJL is going to be the next Io. He's going to be Io.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's super athletic. Like, you think some of the guys on this
In
team are
danger.
athletic. Watch that guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
predictions. All right.
Predictions. Okay, we're almost to an hour here. I got Illinois winning this. It's a must win. I think it's going to be close. I think this prediction's with Tyler Wall. I think if Tyler Wall doesn't play,
Doesn't matter if he plays.
I think Illinois wins by 8 instead of 3. Is all I'm saying. Okay. 75-72. Illinois, they got to win. They have to win.
I have to think Dane Danger.
I almost was going to pick them to lose, but I'm like, no, they have to win this.
Dane Danger will be back.
Yeah, I think Danger will be back.
He'll be an All-American next year anyway. I'm going Illinois 69-63, and I'm going to be surprised if it's only a 6-point game. They're winning this game by 20 or more, despite how many times I've pronounced them dead on this podcast. I can't, not pick them to win this
interruption.
game.
My wife's here. Heather's hair is coming in. I'm just joking.
Anyway,
Illinois wins by 20. Gotcha. Even though you put 6.
I'm trying to be nice here, Little respect for Wisconsin.
Lunkers, thanks for stopping by. Brad, you have Illinois win. It's a must win. It's a must win. That's the only reason why. I almost put them losing. I almost haven't had them scoring 60 points in this game and losing, but it's a must win at home. I know Illinois fans, so it's probably not going to be the sellout crowd that it probably was supposed to be. But and congratulations for Northwestern for selling out a game finally when it took literally Illinois fans. I loved your tweet of I hope they rush the court. I would have loved to see all 200 Northwestern fans.
All those stupid nerds, losers, dweebs, clowns.
But I don't know if we want to talk about the Big Ten. There's some games on tonight. Purdue, Ohio State play tonight. Indiana, Iowa at
must
Iowa.
Win for Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa.
That's Iowa's must
McCaffrey, thoughts go out to him. He's dealing with some anxiety and stuff. So he is out for now. And then Michigan 3-0 in the Big Ten is the most sickening thing ever. So.
Who cares? I mean,
it's not like Illinois fighting. I just don't want to see. I just hope somebody other than Michigan wins. All right.
And how about that doofus, that big doofus who has zero future in the NBA, which obviously I don't either. Hunter Dickinson, like, what are you doing? Like, have a podcast, have all the fun you want, but when your comments are just so stupid. Number one, comparing like Tom Izzo to Hitler, like what are you doing?
Did he say that, or did one of the guys?
I think somebody said that, but I don't know. But either way,
not a good look.
What are you doing?
Not a good look.
Like at what point? Like Hitler has been allegedly dead for a long time. At what point do we stop comparing things to him? When it's podcast. Literally a like think about like there's never been anything like that. So why are we? There shouldn't be any comparisons under any circumstance for any of that. Yeah. So that's stupid, number one. Number two, your coach started it with Wisconsin. He started it. He smacked the assistant coach upside the head.
Yep.
And you're going to call it Wisconsin scumbags? What, do you need more clicks? Your podcast sucks. If Rico Bosco is not affiliated with a college basketball podcast for Barstool, then like Marty Mush doesn't know ball. And I know that people probably don't know what I'm talking about. Marty Mush is a dumbass Duke fan who knows absolutely nothing about college basketball. That guy knows nothing. And Jordan Bohannon, I think, is actually, I don't think he's that bad on the podcast. I think he's, here and there good. But Dickinson is a big doofus who's boring as shit, who just talks a bunch of worthless shit talk. Like, that podcast sucks. I'm not apologizing if I say something out of line, unless it's way out of line. I'm not apologizing for any of that. But he should apologize for having the app, unless he's trolling, which he very well could be, for saying Wisconsin's the scumbags. Okay, yeah.
I think that's a big play. He likes playing the heel.
Yeah, that's great. Hope he does that when he's got that really long Hall of Fame career in the NBA that he's bound to have. Not loser. Go scratch. Anyway, but also, you think John Beilein would allow that?
No.
You think Beilein would allow him to call Wisconsin scumbags?
No.
So Juwan Howard just...
It's a reflection of the coach.
It's an AAU team's what it is. Anyway, better than Illinois.
Well, they're 3-0, and Brad doesn't want Illinois playing like an AAU team, and they're 0-3. So, whatever. Anyways,
they have a lottery pick, though, to be fair, and a guy who's an All-American. But to be fair,
to be fair, he's really good with really good players.
Shout out to
Really
Hunter
good
Dickinson,
coach.
though. Yeah, great, terrific podcast. That was one of the best.
Yeah, why do you talked about him for 10 minutes? Give him more time than they need.
They already have a good enough. Like, they're bigger than us, obviously,
Okay.
and that podcast sucks. It's so bad. Like, it's just Dickinson be like, we're gonna beat Maryland tonight. And then Bohannon's like, if you guys lose to Minnesota, you guys are done. And then Marty Mush's like, well, I thought no, it's a terrible podcast. It sucks. The name sucks. The hosts suck. It's an embarrassment to the brand. And I am a supporter of the brand, and that is an embarrassment to the brand. That podcast sucks.
I don't know how we didn't lose everybody yet, but there's still people watching. So let's talk about Illinois women's basketball playing tonight at Northwestern.
They're going to avenge the men's team. They're going to dust Northwestern. Northwestern women's basketball sucks. Their men's team sucks. Their coach is a bum on both sides. Don't even know who the women's coach is for them. Our coach actually gets players to play for, which Underwood seemingly lost that touch.
Yeah. Women should be ranked.
What can you say?
Sadly,
the fact they're not ranked is a joke. AP women's voters are apparently worse than AP men's voters.
That's fair.
Are they the same? They're not. They can't be the same.
That's fair.
So make sure you tune in to the next episode of Round Ball when you hear Hunter Dickinson say, we're gonna beat Michigan State. Great content, guys. Terrific. Jeez, that podcast sucks. Sorry. That's a case where you're trying too hard.
And we're getting more viewers. What are you doing? Stop.
One more thing. That's a case where you're trying so hard to come up with a good name that you just come up with the dumbest name ever. Like our name is very simple, very normal. Nobody has that name. Very easy. Not trying to overthink it. Like some of these podcast names suck. Round Ball? What is that? What the hell is that? That's like, what did a fourth grader come up with that? I mean, give me a break. Show sucks. Anyway, moving right along, if Hunter Dickinson wants to come on a podcast, or Marty Mush, that clown, or anybody from that podcast wants to come on, defend their honor, they could do that. But then they'll be like, you guys have no listeners. I'd be like, don't care. Like, you guys have platforms and you're athletes and we're not, and still nobody listens to your show because your show sucks. Anyway.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Sure.
In terms of that podcast, you know that your host has zero talent. I wouldn't say Marty, he's got some talent, but little talent in the college basketball game. He knows nothing about college basketball. Absolutely nothing. You know that when you are a struggling podcast, you're saying these outlandish, wild things to try to get listeners, and that is all that podcast is doing. And Lucas is right.
See, you and Lunkers are best friends now. You started the podcast by screaming at him.
Well,
just as well get fired up. Had nothing to do with it. Ethan's been fired up the whole show, so
I've been wanting to attack them for a while, so I had to get them.
We're trying to create some beef to get some more views.
Exactly. That's exactly.
You're gonna clip them and tag them in this, right?
Well, I think my impression of Dickinson is spot on, but I don't know if there's going to be critics outside of that. But
it was pretty good.
But
yeah, our winners of the golf balls, they went out Tuesday because Monday they were closed, except for Zachary Hinkle. Please DM us with your address, or we'll give them away to somebody else. So if you're listening after all that, after 10 minutes of crapping on Round Ball podcast, if you're still here, Zachary, DM us on Twitter, please, so I can get those to you. But
I've mostly been a defender of Dickinson from an Illini perspective, so I had to maybe cross the line a little bit there to get to the other side for that one. But anyway, we'll be back after Illinois, totally dusts those Badgers.
Definitely agree, Brotsworth. Yep. Yeah. So we talked about Illinois offense, all that a lot. You can go back and listen to it. We're gonna do a watch party Saturday. Got some new sponsors, so you guys can see our new sponsors. See how much they're impressed with it.
Everybody's looking forward to that.
Yeah. But anyways.
All right. We've all seen enough. We'll be back after Illinois beats Wisconsin for podcast wise, but we'll see you on Saturday. And
See you Saturday.
easy win incoming. And goodbye.